Alright, today is Friday and I want to catch up on things. I had a video recorded but it got kind of out of dated, so I have to start over again. But we'll start off with the pickups here from eBay, and these are scout patches from my collection. My favorite one is this Attakapas Council Central Louisiana shoulder patch here, and it's got the nice sunset going down there. I really like that one. It looks better in person than on camera. These are all technically used. Some of them have threads, some of them are not used, but they're kind of in the used $1 category, dollar plus or whatever. Shawnee Council. This guy has thousands and thousands of patches, like 30,000 patches or something. Somewhere between 18 and 30,000 patches. This one here was folded over in the corner here like this. And so it didn't sell, but I knew it was folded over, so I got that, and it'll display nicely in my BCW or whatever Ultra Pro pages I choose to use. So that's, excuse me, the Watchung Area Council of New Jersey. Then we have the Buffalo Trace Council, one of the more used ones, but I want to say it's from the 70s and early 80s, so I really like that one there. That's cool there. The Sinisippi Council of Wisconsin / Illinois. And you can see some, I don't know if you can see, but the edges are kind of, what's going on here? I don't know, my camera was, maybe I was too close to the camera or something. I saw some red exclamation point, so I don't know what that was all about. And then we have this one here, the Southwest Michigan. That's the most beat up of them all. Let's just zoom in like that. And I don't know what that was going on there, but. And then we have the Thatcher Woods. I would say my least favorite, but kind of more boring one there. I don't know if it was a plastic back, because sometimes people peel off the plastic back, so don't really know exactly about that one there. So there's that stuff out of the way. And then I wanted to talk about mainly storage devices, because I know a lot of people are going on about protecting your investment in cards and everything, but I'll just go through a little bit of everything that I've been doing right now. Last night I went back to the state surplus. It's not a huge far drive. Picked up a really mint red binder here, and somebody might not grab it because there was some tape or something on the or you know, some green stuff there, and it came right off. And then these can be removed off of here, but these you can either choose to use those or not. I normally like to have a plastic slip cover on it, but these binders are free, and get them while you can. The free books look like they're all gone. Somebody wiped them out. There's really, if you ever need an office a setup or office furniture, or some really durable furniture for your man cave, you know, baseball card room. I mean, if you're ever in my particular area, the Salem, Oregon area, then that would be a great place. You know, office chairs, you name it. There was a beautiful desk that was like $500, and it should have been like a, I don't know, it's probably like a $2,000 desk or more new. It's just really neat. Amazing. It was in super mint condition. I don't know how old it was, but it was very, very well built. And now it'd be somebody's huge, beautiful display, and it would photograph quite well. But for the most part, there were all kinds of break room tables for $10, some little small side tables for $5, solid wood chairs that you would see, like, you know, in the corner of a library. You go to the library and there's all the different fancy chairs at the desks and tables, and some of those, you know, are courtroom chairs or whatever, and they were $10. And what a deal. I picked up some more of these, and I needed these. Unfortunately, you know, you got to clean them up, but sometimes, you know, get rid of the stuff off there. It's got 2 or 3 labels on. I heat them off and put another sticker over that, and sometimes these are not as easy to get off of here, but, you know, these things are, you know, between $5 and $10 online each. You know, seriously, office supplies are ridiculously expensive. And then I'm using it for this particular one, which I've labeled here, and you know, just cover up part of that. But hey, Vato, it says Vato right there. But the town I used to live in, I'm saving and archiving some old stuff here. You know, some old punch cards and things like that. There were some ancient tax files that belonged to a family, and then some old, there's a piece of an old 1980s or 70s Girl Scout calendar. I'm not exactly sure what happened, where that got, maybe my mom from 78, and maybe she donated something to the Girl Scouts. I don't know, bought some cookies and they gave her a calendar, or bought calendars, I don't know. But anyway, there's stuff that notes and things like that on the other side, and so that'll go in a full page. Or maybe I could do something. Oh, that's a baseball card page there. If I'm going through stuff and you find baseball card pages and score, win, sort of thing. Again, these are all beat up and used. But you know what these things are great for? These things are great for doing like mini projects and sets here. Put your baseball card pages in there, provided they don't stick out too far. And then, you know, like I have a Bill and Ted set. I don't need a full binder for Bill and Ted. It's only like 75 to 100 cards or whatever. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to throw that in one of these. A little bit big, but worked well enough for me. And then I can stack them and do whatever I want and put them on the shelves. And they're harder to find if I need to ever look up the Bill and Ted's card set. I lost a number of cards, so I don't know how many I need to finish that off. I had the whole set, a set and a half, and I gave some away, and I don't remember what happened to the rest of them. So fortunate there. And then some of the bins pickups recently, see if I can find some of those. Some flower seeds from like the 50s. Weird stuff in this video here, but I will attempt to actually plant those and save the interesting packages. They have a little bit of value sealed, but I want to say that they have more value as actual flowers and hopefully get those to work. They could be from the 40s even. I don't know. Maybe the 60s, 70s. But, you know, people just, a lot of times they just use vintage package styles for many, many years, and so they may not be as old as you think they are. But would they ever come up? No, but it's always good to give those things a chance and see how that works. Picked up some useful things here. And again, I have, I don't have it here, but I got a computer mouse, so like a big computer mouse, big deal. But go buy a computer mouse. You could be $30, $40 for a computer mouse, or back in the old days, they were 10 bucks on sale. But my computer mouse looked like a perfectly mint, 79 cents a pound for electronics, so I could have been probably a whole quarter in for a mouse. And I needed that for my laptop, which I now been able to get, because now if I need to go to sleep with my laptop on or whatever in the distance, I found out that I can watch all the Rick Steves that I want that I don't actually have on DVD. So there's no rush for me to go out and buy all the Rick Steve DVD specials, and for the most part, there's very few, if not any, commercials, and for whatever reason the laptop was set for, you know, kept on going. So some of these things are like an hour long, so very, very good to have that. Back to the supplies thing when I get a chance here. I had a bag of things here. This is not really a supply, but I just wanted to, people buy these things all the time, and I got this from my friend or myself, where I haven't decided what to do with it. I might throw this in the shed or the barn or whatever. It's a barn, but I mean storage. It's an ornate doorknob handle, and then people turn these into coat racks. You know, they hang their coat on that. So what I'll do is I'll probably put some sort of bar through here. I took the bar out of there, put a screw in there, and then just polish this up the best that I can. And then what I do with it is that I just mount it onto an old piece of wood on the scrap pile, and boom, hang it in so wherever I want it, and boom, place to hang a coat, a jacket, or tools, or whatever there. So that didn't cost very much. And you know, think of it, if you need to buy a coat hook, you know, it's kind of fun to get one of these vintage style, if that's your style or deal or whatever. You can also use this to hang a baseball glove or something on. All kinds of, you know, interesting purpose things you can do for that. And then somebody said you could do stuff like that too. You know, here's an old safety pin. Put a rope through that and hang something on that, and makes a very, very good hanger / display type thing. And all the vintage type, you know, I'm always thinking in terms of storing your collections or your items with items that look the same vintage, so it makes kind of the whole diorama there work pretty good here too. Nothing else much in there. The elephant in the room is this, and you'd be shocked, so I'm going to try to pull this out. It's one of these file cabinet things here, and it weighs a ton, but when you hit the right garage sale, there it is. It's one of those with the two deals on there. And one of the drawers was stuck, but I believe that it's not stuck anymore because, yeah, they're both working great there. Take one of the drawers out here. I don't know if I'm going to store baseball cards in it, or I have several of these, or I did have in the past. I'm not sure what I did with them, but I might have given them away. I'm not sure. But I have at least another one now. It was all solid metal from the company of, it's kind of a weird name. It's like Yali and, here it is. Look it up here. It's a Yawman and Herb. And I used one of these. I want to show you here. Well, a new one of these two drawer file cabinets, if you ever needed one for cards or whatever like that. They're like $78 or something crazy for that. And then looking at a used one, somebody thinks that they want $83, and then discount here. They want $62.25. Now, mind you, I only paid $2, and there was another one, but it didn't match. And the other one is very similar to the first one I showed you, and again, I could have gotten that for $2, but again, I don't need a lot of big stuff there. But we're going to see if I can put this in here somewhere and store some sports card stuff in there. Now, I just don't know. But I always point these things out because, again, office supplies are ridiculously expensive, and if you're doing vintage baseball cards or whatever, store it in one of these for $2 instead of getting used. Again, somebody was storing tools in this, and I had to clean it up a little bit. But the reason why this was probably, and the other one, there were problems with it. But again, there was a little file that stuck in the connector part, and it wouldn't open right. And then I dumped out the drawer, and 4 or 5 small files and some other little twist ties came out of there. So I thought that was a pretty good deal for that one. And it's always good in case you have like a shop setting or something like that. You can throw whatever you want in there, but people are using for recipe cards. But again, think of it might have come from a library, or somebody just went to like an office company and used it for their records in their little business there. Again, when you go to these sales there, it's only $2. The sale's been going on for 3 or 4 days. Was there any reason for this to still be there at $2? A lot of people are thinking in terms of what they can get out of it for scrap. So they say, it doesn't have a lot of scrap value. I mean, it's got the brass and copper, and there are people that will still scrap these to this day, not realizing that this has a value of probably about $10 to $25, $30, $40 elsewhere, but not $62.50. But that's the common going rate, about $75, because people want the same for a used one as the same for a new one. It makes no sense whatsoever. Just because this is probably from the 40s or 50s does not mean that has a crazy ton of value, because it's limited to what you can do with it. But it makes a good junk drawer if nothing else there. And I got some playing cards here. We don't need to show those. I did find a new soccer card vendor. I'm kind of holding off because I bought something overseas, and then it wasn't super expensive. It was like $20. And then I bought some trading cards. The shipping was you think of it this way, I got shipping for something overseas for $10, and I had to pay like $5 shipping to the United States. Makes no earthly sense whatsoever, to only pay $10 shipping from halfway across the world, all the way across the world in this case. USA shipping was $5 on 8 trading cards. They should be here next week, hopefully. And then I said I found a new card seller. I am looking for people outside of COMC, because COMC has basically lost my business for the moment here. They might fix something or change something, or they might see a big downturn and stuff, and a lot of people abandoning cards, not know what to do with them, because there's no sense of paying $20 for shipping for anything these days. I don't know. They just had it. They were losing money on shipping. I'm almost 100% positive of that. So there's more stuff I could show, more things I could talk about, but I just don't really need to go into all that, because everybody else is, let's let everybody else whine and crab about the whole hobby situation. And then, the videos are getting kind of slower right now because everybody's going to put all their effort into the national. No sense in going to some place if I'm going to lose thousands of dollars for it's like just might as well go to the casinos and lose the same amount of money. Dumb analogy, but whatever. Friday, I'm just going to take a little rest here right now and do whatever I need to, and maybe have a tad bit more lunch here. I'm kind of hungry, actually. Didn't have much in the way of breakfast, and thank you for watching.